Good morning, Carl, and here we come to the next portion of How Fear Came, that is the first of the stories in the new Jungle Book. We'll talk. As you recall in the last one, Shere Khan had boasted that he'd killed a man for sport, for choice, not for food eating, and thus it being a water truce, the elephant had to let him drink from the river, but then banished him back as soon as it was over. Now back to the story. What is this right Shere Khan speaks of? Mowgli whispered in Bagheera's men. To kill man is always shameful. The law says, and yet Hathi says so. Ask him. I do not know, little brother. Right or no right. If Hathi had not spoken, I would have taught that lame butcher his lesson. Comes a peace rock fresh from the kill of man, and to boast of it is a jackal's trick. Besides, he tainted the good water. Mowgli waited for a minute to pick up his courage, because no one cared to address Hathi directly. Then he cried, What is Shere Khan's right, O Hathi? Both banks echoed his words, for the people of the jungle are intensely curious, and they'd just seen something none except Baloo, who looked very thoughtful, seemed to understand. It is an old tale, said Hathi, a tale older than the jungle. Keep silence along the banks, that I will tell the tale. There was a minute or two of pushing and shouldering among the pigs and the buffalo, and then the leaders of the herds grunted one after the other. We wait. And Hathi strode forward till he was nearly knee-deep in the pool by the Peace Rock. Lean and wrinkled and yellow-tusked though he was, he looked what the jungle knew him to be, their master. Ye know, children, he began, that of all things ye most fear man, and there was a murmur of agreement. This tale touches thee, little brother, said Bagheera to Mowgli. I am of the pack, a hunter of the free peoples, Mowgli answered. What do I have to do with man? And ye do not know why ye fear men? Hathi went on. This is the reason. In the beginning of the jungle, and none know when that was, we of the jungle walked together, having no fear of one another. In those days there was no drought, and leaves and flowers and fruits grew on the same tree, and we ate nothing except leaves and flowers and grass and fruit and bark. I am glad I was not born in those days, said Bagheera. Bark is only good to sharpen claws. And the lord of the jungle was Tha, first of the elephants. He drew the jungle out of deep waters with his trunk, and where he made furrows in the ground with his tusks, there a river ran. And where he struck with his foot, there rose ponds of good water. And when he blew through his trunk, thus the trees fell. This was the manner in which the jungle was made by Tha, and so the tale was told to me. It is not lost fat in the telling, Bagheera whispered, and Mowgli laughed behind his hand. In those days there was no corn, or melons, or pepper, or sugarcane, nor were there any little huts such as ye have all seen, and the jungle people knew nothing of man, but lived in the jungle together, making one people. But presently they began to dispute over their food, and there was grazing enough for all. They were lazy, each wished to eat where he lay, as sometimes we can do now when the spring's rains are good. Tha, first of the elephants, was busy making new jungles and leading the rivers in their beds. He could not walk in all places. Therefore he made the first of the tigers the master and judge of the jungle, to whom the jungle people should bring their disputes. In those days the first of the tigers ate fruit and grass with the others. He was as large as I am, and he was very beautiful, and colour all over like the blossoms of the yellow creeper. There was never stripe nor bar upon his hides in those good days when the jungle was new. All the jungle people came before him without fear, and his words was the law of the jungle. We remember ye, one people. Yet upon night there was a dispute between two bucks, a grazing quarrel such as ye now settle with horns in the forefeet. And it is said that the two spoke together before the first of the tigers lying among the flowers. A buck pushed him with his horn, and the first of the tigers forgot he was master and judge of the jungle, and leaping upon the buck broke his neck. Till that night never had one of us died, and the first of the tigers, seeing what he had done, and been made foolish by the scent of blood, ran away into the marshes of the north. And we of the jungle, left without a judge, fell to fighting ourselves, when Tha heard the noise, and he came back. Then some of us said this, and some of us said that, but he saw the dead buck lying among the flowers, and asked who had killed, and we of the jungle would not tell, but the smell of the blood had made us foolish. We ran to and fro in circles, capering, crying out, and shaking our heads. Then Tha gave an order for the trees to hang low, and the trailing creepers of the jungle, that they should mark the killer of the buck, so that he should know him again. And he said, Who will now be master of the jungle people? Then up leaped the grey ape who lives in the branches, and said, I will now be master of the jungle. At this Tha laughed and said, So be it, and went away very angry. Children, you know the grey ape. He was then as he is now. At the first he made a wise face for himself, but in a little while he began to scratch and leap up and down. And when Tha came back, he found the grey ape hanging head down from a bough, mocking those who stood below, and they mocked him again. And so there was no law in the jungle, only foolish talk and senseless words. Then Tha, first of the elephants, called us all together and said, "The first of your masters brought death to the jungle, and the second shame. Now it is time there was a law, and a law ye must not break. Now you shall know fear, and when you have found him, you shall know that he is your master, and the rest shall follow." Then we of the jungle said, "What is fear?" And Tha said, "Seek till you find." And he went up and down the jungle as seeking for fear, and presently buffaloes. "Ugh," said Misa, leader of the buffaloes, from their sandbank. "Yes, Misa, it was the buffaloes. They came back with news that in the cave in the jungle sat Fear, and he had no hair, and went upon his hind legs. Then we of the jungle followed the herd till we came to that cave, and Fear stood at the mouth, and there he was, as the buffaloes said, hairless, and he walked on his hind legs. When he saw us, he cried out, and his voice filled us with the fear we now have, or that voice when we hear it. And we ran away, tramping and tearing each other, because we were afraid. That night, so it was told to me, we of the jungle did not lie down together, as used to be our custom, but each tribe drew off by itself, the pig with the pig, the deer with the deer, horn to horn, and hoof to hoof, like keeping to like, and so lay shaking in the jungle. Only the first of the tiger was not with us, for he was still hidden in the marshes over the north. When word brought him the thing we had seen in the cave, he said, "I will go to this thing and break his neck." So he ran all the night till he came to the cave, but the trees and the creepers on his path, remembering the order that Tha had given, let down their branches and marked him as he ran, drawing their fingers across his back, his flank, his forehead, and his jowl. Whenever they touched him, there was a mark and a stripe upon his yellow hide, and those stripes do his children wear to this day. When he came to the cave, Fear, the hairless one, put out his hand and called him, "The striped one that comes by night." And the first of the tigers was afraid of the hairless one, and ran back to the swamps howling. Mowgli chuckled quietly, his chin in the water. So loud did he howl that Tha heard him and said, "What is the sorrow?" And the first of the tigers, lifting up his muzzle to the new-made sky, which is now so old, said, "Give me back my power, Tha. I am made ashamed before all the jungle, and I have run away from a hairless one, and he has called me a shameful name." "And why?" said Tha. "Because I am smeared with the mud of the marshes," said the first of the tigers. "Swim then, and roll on the wet grass, and if it be mud, it will wash away," said Tha. And the first of the tigers swam and rolled upon the grass, till the jungle ran round before his eyes. But not one little bar on all his hide was changed, and Tha, watching him, laughed. Then the first of the tigers said, "What have I done that this comes to me?" Tha said, "Thou hast killed the buck, and thou hast let death loose in the jungle, and with death has come fear, so that the people of the jungle are afraid of the other, as thou art afraid of the hairless one." The first of the tigers said, "They will never fear me, for I knew them since the beginning." Tha said, "Go and see." And the first of the tigers ran to and fro and called to the deer, and the pig, and the sambar, and the porcupine, and all the jungle peoples, and they all ran away from him who had been their judge, because they were afraid. Then the first of the tigers came back, and his pride was broken in him, and beating his head upon the ground, he tore up the earth with his feet and said, "Remember that I was once master of the jungle. Do not forget me, O Tha. Let my children remember that I was once without shame and fear." And Tha said, "This much I will do, because thou and I together saw the jungle made. For one night each year it shall be as it was before the buck was killed, for thee and for thy children. In that one night, if ye meet the hairless one, and his name is Man, ye shall not be afraid of him, but he shall be afraid of you, as though you were judges of the jungle and masters of all things. Show him mercy in that night of his fear, for thou hast known what fear is." The first of the tigers answered, "I am content." But when he next drank, he saw the black stripes upon his flank and his side, and he remembered that the name of the hairless one had given him, and he was angry. For a year he lived in the marshes, waiting till Tha should keep his promise. Upon the night when the jackal of the moon, that is the evening star, Carl, stood clear of the jungle, he felt that his night was upon him, and he went to that cave to meet the hairless one. Then it happened as Tha promised, for the hairless one fell down before him and lay on the ground, and the first of the tigers struck him and broke his back. Although there was but one such thing in the jungle, for he thought that there was but one such thing in the jungle, and he had killed Fear. Then nosing above the kill, he heard Tha coming down from the woods in the north, and presently the voice of the first of the elephants, which is the voice we hear now. The thunder was rolling up and down the scarred hill, but it brought no rain, only heat, lightning that flickers along the ridges. And Hathi went on, "That was the voice he heard, and it said, 'Is this mercy?'" The first of the tigers licked his lips and said, "What matter? I have killed Fear." And Tha said, "O blind and foolish, thou hast untied the feet of death, and he will follow thy trail till thou diest. Thou hast taught man to kill." The first of the tigers, standing stiffly to his kill, said, "He is as the buck was. There is no fear, and I will judge the people once more." And Tha said, "Never again shall the jungle peoples come to thee. They shall never cross thy trail, nor sleep near thee, nor follow after thee, nor browse by thy lair. Only fear shall follow thee, and with a blow thou canst not see he shall bid thee wait his pleasure. He shall make the ground open under thy feet, and the creeper twist about thy neck, and the tree trunks grow together about thee higher than thou canst leap. And at last he shall take thy hide to wrap his cubs in when they are cold. Thou hast shown him no mercy, and none shall he show thee. The first of the tide was very bold, for his night was still upon him, and he said, The promise of Thar is the promise of Thar. He shall not take away my might. And Thar said, This one night is thine, as I have said, but there's a price to pay. Thou hast taught man to kill, and he is no slow learner. The first of the tiger said, He is here under my foot, and his back is broken. Let the jungle know I have killed fear. Thou hast killed, and then Thar laughed, and said, Thou hast but killed one of many, but thou thyself shalt tell the jungle, for thy night is ended. And so the day came, and from the mouth of the cave went out another hairless one, and he saw the kill in his path, and the first of the tigers above it, and he took a pointed stick. They throw a thing that cuts now, said Iki, rushing down the bank, for Iki was considered uncommonly good eating by the Gonds. They called him Hu Igu, and knew something of the wicked little Gondi axe that whirls across the clearing like a dragonfly. It was a pointed stick, such as they put in the foot of a pit trap, said Hathi, and throwing it, he struck the first of the tigers deep in the flank. Thus it happened as Thar had said, for the first of the tigers ran howling up and down the jungle till he tore out the stick, and all the jungle knew the hairless one could strike from far off, and they feared him more than before. So it came about that the first of the tigers taught the hairless one to kill, and you know what harm that has done since to all our peoples. Through the noose and the pitfall and the hidden trap and the flying stick and the stinging fly that comes out of white smoke, Hathi here means the rifle, the gun, and the red flower that drives us into the open. Yet for one night in the year the hairless one fears the tiger, as Thar had promised, and never has the tiger given him cause to be less afraid. When he finds him there, he kills him, remembering how the first of the tigers was made ashamed. For the rest, fear walks up and down the jungle, by day and by night. Aye, who, said the deer, thinking of what it meant to them. And now when there is one great fear over all of us, as there is now, can we of the jungle lay aside our little fears, and meet together in one place as we do now? For one night only does man fear the tiger, said Mowgli. For one night only. But all the jungle knows that Shere Khan kills man twice or thrice in a moon. Even so. Then he springs from behind and turns his head as he strikes, for he is full of fear. If man looked at him, he would run. But on that one night he does so openly down to the village. He walks between the houses and thrusts his head into the doorway, and men fall on their faces, and there he does his kill. One kill in that night. Oh, said Mowgli, rolling to himself, rolling over in the water. Now I see why it was Shere Khan bade me look at him. He got no good of it, for he could not hold his eyes steady, and I certainly did not fall at his feet. But then I am not a man, being of the free people. Said Bagheera, deep in his furry throat. Does the tiger know his night? Never till the jackal of the moon stands clear of the evening mist. Sometimes it falls in dry summer, and sometimes in the wet rains. This one night of the tiger. But for the first of the tigers this would never be, nor would anyone else know of a known fear. The deer grunted sorrowfully, and Bagheera's lip curled in a wicked smile. Do men know this tale? Said he. None know it except the tigers, and we the elephants, the children of Thar. Now ye by the pools have heard it, and I have spoken. Hathi dipped his trunk into the water as a sign he did not wish to talk. But, said Mowgli, turning to Baloo. Why did not the first of the tigers continue to eat grass and leaves and trees? He did but break the buck's neck. He did not eat. What led him to the hot meat? The trees and the creepers marked him, little brother, and made him the striped thing we see. Never again would he eat their fruit, but from that day he revenged himself upon the deer and the others, the eaters of grass, said Baloo. Then thou knowest the tale, hey? Why, I've never heard. But because the jungle is full of such tales. If I made a beginning there would never be an end to them. Let go of my ear, little brother. And there is the tale, Carl, of how the first of the tigers brought death to jungle, and how man brought fear, and how the first of the tigers taught man to kill. And you now know the secret of the night of the tiger. Carl, I will now conclude by doing the Law of the Jungle, which is the song in which the Law of the Jungle is passed from one to the other. Now this is the law of the jungle, as old and true as the sky. And the wolf shall keep it may prosper, but the wolf that break it must die. As the creeper that girdles a tree trunk, the law runneth forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. Watch daily from nose tip to tail tip, to drink deep, but never too deep. And remember the night is for hunting, and forget not the day is for sleep. The jackal may follow the tiger, but cud when thy whiskers are grown. Remember the wolf is a hunter, go forth and get food of thy own. Keep peace with the lords of the jungle, the tiger, the panther, the bear, and trouble not Hathi the silent, and mock not the boar in his lair. When the pack meets with pack in the jungle, and neither will go from the trail, lie down till the leaders have spoken. It may be fair words shall prevail. When you fight with the wolf of the pack, you must fight him alone and far, lest others take part in the quarrel, and the pack be diminished by war. The lair of the wolf is his refuge, where he has made his home. Not even the head wolf may enter, not even the council may come. The lair of the wolf is in refuge, but where he has digged it too plain, the council shall send him a message, and so he shall change it again. If ye kill before midnight, be silent, and wake not the woods with you, bay, lest you frighten the deer from the crops, and the brothers go empty away. Now ye may kill for yourselves and your mates, and your cubs as they need and ye can, but kill not for pleasure of killing, and 7 times never kill man. If you plunders kill from a weaker, devour not all in thy pride. Pack right is the right of the meanest, so leave him the head and the hide. Meanest here means the poorest, Carl. The kill of the pack is the meat of the pack. He must eat where it lies, and no one may carry away the meat to his lair, or he dies. The kill of the wolf is the meat of the wolf. He may do what he will, but till he has given permission, the pack may not eat of that kill. Cub right is the right of the yearling, for all of his pack he may claim, full gorge when the killer is eaten, and none may refuse him the same. Lair right is the right of the mother, from all of her years she may claim, one haunch of each kill for her litter, and none may deny her the same. Cave right is the right of the father, to hunt by himself for his own. He is freed of all calls still to pack, he is judged by the council alone. Because of his age and his cunning, because of his grip and his paw, in all that the law leaveth open, the word of the head wolf is law. Now these are the law of the jungle, and many and mighty are they, but the head and the hoof of law, and the haunch of the hump is obey. Love you to pieces, and see you tomorrow.